race weekend from Auto Club Speedway begins here with the Coors Light Truck Series first elimination race of the chase for the championship. After today, we will be determining the 6 drivers that will move on to the next round out of our original 8 that started out this playoffs journey. We ran Las Vegas about 3 weeks ago, and it set us up now for the battle for the final 6 positions. At Las Vegas, we had a non-chaser go to victory lane in Daniel Bouchard, which means that none of our 8 drivers come into this race locked into the next round. And you can see over on the right side of your screen, I think the big battle is going to take place here between 4 drivers in particular. Cucalon, Roberts, Nicholls, and Haas. Right now, H Alonso, you can see, comes into this race as the points leader of the 8. He has currently a 30-point advantage back to Isaac Nicholls, who right now is the first car outside of that cut line. Then you got 24 points ahead is Henry Williams. You've got 15 points, I believe, ahead Alex Tanker, and Andrew Miller comes into this race currently, 25 points ahead, I should say. No, 21 points ahead is Tanker, and then Miller comes into this race 18 points ahead of that cut line. So I think they might be okay if they get at least decent finishes. And let's get the command real quick.
Drivers, start your engines!
But I think the real battle is going to be taking place from between 5th and 8th place, because you've got Cucalon. He's only 9 points ahead of the cut line. You've got Roberts, who's only 1 point ahead of the cut line. That cut line driver just underneath is Isaac Nicholls. He's only 1 point out of making it into the top 6, and only, 7 points back is Michael Haas. So definitely think it's going to be a battle between the 77, 24, 52, and 28. But if Miller, if Tanker, if Henry Williams, and even if H Alonso have a bad day here today and finish out of the race in dead last or 41st, 40th, there is a slight chance they could also fall outside of that cut line. So we'll have to keep track of that today as Kyle Busch Motorsports. Wow, where's my head? They line up on the front row. Teammates Andrew Rich on the inside, Tony Green on the outside, both trying to find their first win of the season still. Tony Green, of course, was in the battle for the championship last season, as was Ace Garcia, who rolls off from 6th place. The highest starting of our chase drivers today, I believe, is the 38, the points leader, H Alonso. He's rolling off from the outside of row 4 in 8th. Next highest is J.J. Roberts, who comes in just ahead of that cut line. He is rolling off from the 10th position. 20 laps of racing here at Auto Club. Who's going to move on to the round of 6 to move on to round 2, which will include the endurance race at Le Mans as well as Rockingham, North Carolina? We're about to find out. 6 will move on, 2 will be eliminated. Green flags in the air. We're underway at Auto Club. Let's roll. Couple of trucks up there on that high side brushed the wall. Tony Green, Elijah Gordon, as they are 4 wide back there mid-pack. Couple of trucks scraping the wall. You can hear they're down the back straightaway as well, trying to give each other room. Josh Drake goes to the lead, not for long. Here comes our winner from Hillside, Colin Lindsay, to the inside for the lead. Remember, we say this every week, but there are a lot of non-playoff drivers in this field that don't give a hoot about the battle for the championship. They just want to finish out the season with a win. Oh, we got trouble there in the back. Someone must have gotten up into the wall really badly, checked up the outside line, and we've got a wreck. And I don't know for absolute certain, but I thought I saw the purple truck of J.J. Roberts back there. And remember, he comes in just ahead of the cut line is J Cesar. He wants the lead coming to this caution. He dives to the inside of Colin Lindsay. Trying to look back through the field. I do not see the 24. Lindsay on the outside line, though, the preferred and fastest line around this racetrack, will hold on to the lead, and he will lead us to our first caution of the day. There you see the skid marks going into turn 1. A lot of drivers early on were running almost up into the wall to try and get that really good entry into turn 1 to carry speed off of turn 2 to the back straightaway. And someone might have traversed just a little too high. And I thought I saw Roberts involved. There he is. Though there doesn't appear to be much visible damage on his FedEx Chevrolet. The thing I think is going to hurt him is he lost a lot of track position. Elijah Gordon also started up near the front. He's got some damage there on the rear spoiler, but I think he might be okay. And Alex Tanker's at the rear of the field here as well in the 40th position. I don't know if he started back here or if he dropped back and got involved in that wreck as well. But Tanker came into this race situated 4th in the points. So not the kind of runs that he was looking for, I don't think. Also back there, you see the 23 of Andrew Miller. So those might have been drivers that just didn't get the benefit of a good qualifying result. But I'm pretty certain that Gordon and Roberts were at least 2 of the drivers that caused this yellow to come out. So as Lindsay leads us, let's go back and see what happened. This was back in that 4-wide battle. And there you see, yeah, Roberts, boy, I think he thought he had gotten a big enough run on Elijah Gordon that he was going to be able to move up in front of him before they got to the entrance of turn 1, and he was only maybe halfway clear on him. Moves up and got into him. That was a nice avoidance. I don't know if you saw it right there by the 77 of Sebastian Cucalon trying to keep his playoff hopes alive. And there's not really, you can see there wasn't really that hard an impact. Both drivers, Gordon and Roberts, were up on the high side, so it wasn't like they went from the low side all the way up to the wall, so it wasn't that hard of a hit. Didn't really even see any damage on the left side of either of those race cars, maybe a little bit of damage on the rear spoiler of Elijah Gordon, but aside from that, those two got away relatively unscathed. The thing, like I said, that really is going to hurt them, especially Roberts, is he lost so many positions on track, and every position is a point. And with Roberts in that critical position he is, only 1 point ahead of the cut line coming into this race, he's going to really need to come back here as we get closer here towards the second half of this race. He needs to pick up a lot of positions, hopefully in a long green flag run. Well, Colin Lindsay is trying to do what no driver's been able to do yet this season, and that's be the first driver to go to victory lane 2 times. We've had 11 races so far, and a lot of our winners are either up in the playoffs with drivers that aren't in the playoffs to have a win. You got Bouchard in 10th, and you've got Josh Drake 22nd. Lindsay's the furthest down in points, 34th of all the drivers that have gone to victory lane so far this season when he won the regular season finale at Hillside. He's trying to become the first 2-time winner here in Season 3 of the Coors Light Truck Series. He'll restart ahead of Julio Cesar. Josh Drake lines up in 3rd. Andrew Rich, who started on the pole, will be 4th. Henry Williams right now is the highest running playoff driver in 5th. Gatlin Downey currently in 6th. Tyler Deaver's now up to 7th. Tony Green fell back to 8th. Bobby Fraser 9th. And Sebastian Cucalon, as mentioned, with that good avoidance of that wreck, he's going to restart in the 10th position. Let's find out where the other 6 playoff drivers are restarting. H Alonso restarts in 11th. Michael Haas in 17th. Go a long ways down. Wow. We're getting to our next one, which is Isaac Nicholls. He's back in 33rd. Andrew Miller back in 37th. And then J.J. Roberts in the 42nd position. Alex Tanker in 40th as the green flag back in the air here on lap number 7. So we have, according to the scoring, 14 laps to go. My goodness, my math is off today. Let's see now, maybe now that we've gotten that first caution, if we can settle into a long green flag run. Julio Cesar trying to get the inside line working there through 1 and 2 and is successful. So the truck out of Smart Motorsports the lead. Now here comes Josh Drake, former winner this season from Bristol Dirt. And you see Henry Williams back there in the 62, H Alonso the 38. Now they'd love to be able to win. Right now they come into this race in a position in points where they probably would make it into the next round anyway. But why would they want to go to victory lane? Because a win in this round gives you 3 extra bonus points towards round 2. So you would head into the second round 3 points ahead of everybody else that's your competition. Giving you those 3 extra points could be the difference between making it into battling for the championship in the Final 4 and being eliminated after round 2. Auto Club normally is the track that we last few seasons have gone to for our season finale to determine the championship. Moved up on the schedule in place of putting Homestead as the season finale. Auto Club still playing a pivotal role in 2 of our series. Elimination race here today for the trucks in round 1, same tomorrow for the Pizza Hut X Series drivers. It'll be race 1 of round 2 for the remaining 12 drivers in the Hershey's Cup Series later on this week. As you saw, the lights were on. Caution is out for the second time here today at Auto Club. Auto Club not normally considered a racetrack that brings about wreck fests, but when they're racing 3 and 4 wide and jostling position, especially down to turn 1, I guess we can't really be that surprised. I saw a truck that was down in the apron there through 3 and 4, which it is legal to run down there, but I think that truck was just trying to get out of the way. I'm not even sure who that really was. So as we're under caution, Julio Cesar going to be the leader under this yellow flag. And it looks like Preston Plourd in the 96, who finished runner-up last time out at Las Vegas to the eventual winner, Daniel Bouchard, may have brought out this yellow flag. And also playoff contender Michael Haas back here, I think might have gotten involved in whatever the incident was. So second playoff contender to get involved. First caution involved J.J. Roberts. This one involves Michael Haas as Julio Cesar leads us. We are just going to be past the halfway point now when they hit the line. Let's go back and see what brought out this second caution of the day in California. Practically the same thing we saw happen earlier with J.J. Roberts. Right here, Preston Plourd. I think he thought he was clear up on the 28 of Michael Haas. Clearly wasn't. And as opposed to the wreck we had before, only the 96 of Preston Plourd gets turned around. Michael Haas is able to keep his car facing the correct direction, though, like we said before with Roberts, even though these 2 trucks really didn't get much damage, since they were already up against that outside wall anyway, Michael Haas losing a lot of positions. And for Michael Haas, this is pivotal for him because he came in 8th of the 8 playoff drivers. He was trying to race his way back up into the top 6, and losing all those positions really is going to hurt him and his chances of making it into the next round of the Coors Light Truck Series chase for the championship. Tough break there for Preston Plourd, though, after a great run of second last time out at Las Vegas. Their Speedway program appears to be really good, but here today gets involved in a wreck. He at the time was running in the 27th position. Green flag will come back out with 7 laps to go. Lap 14 is when we will go back racing. We're looking at the bottom of the running order here because you'll notice we've got a number of our playoff contenders running outside the top 30. Andrew Miller 35th, Alex Tanker 38th, J.J. Roberts 40th, and Michael Haas in 41st. Right now, if my calculations are correct, Roberts and Michael Haas, unless they can really improve their positions in these remaining 7 laps, those would be the 2 drivers that would make the early exit after round 1 here in the chase for the championship. So we'll keep tabs on the 24 and the 28 during the course of this final run. Up front, though, it's Julio Cesar leading the way. Cesar comes into this race 28th in points. Had a good run at Las Vegas, though. Gained 3 spots in the standings. So that team's suddenly starting to put it together. Josh Drake lines up in second. Colin Lindsay third. 2 former winners trying to go back to victory lane. H Alonso, also a former winner. He lines up in 4th. He's the highest running playoff driver. Bobby Fraser's now up to 5th. TJ Handley in 6th. Then it's Tyler Deaver 7th. Andrew Rich 8th. And how about Zach Winkle now up to 9th with A Garcia completing your top 10. Alonso in the 4th position. You got to go all the way back to 13th to find the next highest running playoff driver in Henry Williams. So Alonso came into this race the points leader. Looks like he's definitely going to have a good day and move on to the next round. Green flag in the air, and boy was Cesar ready for it. Leaving the 53 of Josh Drake in the dust. I don't know if Cesar timed it good or if he jumped it or if Drake was asleep or spun the tires. Whatever the case, Drake's losing a lot of spots now. He's going to drop back at least to 4th. Lindsay moves to 2nd. Fraser into 3rd. And now Lindsay keeps the momentum up. He's going to try to the inside for the race lead on Julio Cesar. Bobby Fraser right there as well. Fraser, the winner of the NNSCRA Indianapolis 500, of course. Still looking for his first career win in the Coors Light Truck Series, though, as Lindsay tries to get that inside line going. Might be able to still be to the inside of the 19 coming down here to turn 1. Might be able to make it work now. Oh, we got a couple trucks up into the wall. No caution, I don't think. That was Hilary Sanchez in the 73, and I think that was Ace Garcia in the 51, but they both managed to keep it straight. I think we're still racing. They're going to lose a lot of positions, though, as a result, but I think we are still green. Lindsay was able to get around for the lead, and the caution is indeed out. Now, I think we will get back green as they'll hit the line with 4 to go, but it'll be probably a green-white checker, maybe a one-lap shootout. Lindsay was able to make that pass in turns 1 and 2. Now, he's the race leader. I thought maybe we were going to stay green because the 73 and the 51 were both facing the correct direction, even though they were up on the outside wall, but guess that's not the case. Look at him 4 wide back there. Is that Gamington, Winkle, is that Roger Ray, and somebody else? I couldn't tell who the other truck was. And they were all 4 wide there under pacing. So Lindsay, hoping this race ends under caution. I think we're going to get back green, though, and we should be in for a doozy of a finish. Nathan Stapleton. Okay, he's got damage, so maybe he was what brought the caution out. Maybe he was actually around and I didn't see it. I know Garcia got a piece of it, and I'm pretty sure Hilary Sanchez did too. Sanchez, there's the left side damage on the 73. But I think, I don't know. Maybe it was the 92, maybe he went around and I didn't see that, and that's why they had to throw the caution. And I just noticed as well that both the 24 and the 28 didn't really make up much ground there on that last run. Didn't get much of a chance, though. So as we get set for what could be a shootout to finish out this race at Auto Club, let's go back and take a look at what may have brought out our final yellow flag of the day. Well, this was battling almost up inside the top 10. Last time by, Garcia had crossed in 11th, and I think Hilary Sanchez was 10th. Now, we've just seen this all day long where a truck tries to tuck up in front of somebody going into turn 1. This has got to be a blind spot for the spotters or something, and they're just letting the drivers rely on their own instinct, and it's just not working. Now, you see up to this point, lights on the caution light there is still green. Sanchez kept it straight. Garcia managed to save it. So we were not under caution at that point, so I was correct in that. However, we're going to have an incident here off turn 2, and that's what brings out the caution. You're going to see, just coming into view there is Nathan Stapleton. Now, Garcia got his car back under power, but he was obviously much slower, lost a lot of momentum, scraping that outside wall. Stapleton's on the outside of Preston Plourd and J.J. Roberts, not given a whole lot of room to be able to get down, and he's going to, right here, you're going to see, just clip the left rear quarter panel of Ace Garcia. It's going to spin Garcia up into the wall. And then right there, you see the 51's going to go completely around. That's why they had to throw the caution. And J.J. Roberts got involved in that one in the 24. So the chances of him moving on to the final or to the second round of the playoffs looking slimmer and slimmer. So Stapleton, Garcia, and Roberts all getting together off turn 2 is what actually did bring out the caution. And I'm going to have to look back. But remember Stapleton back at Homestead, Miami, not making it onto the final round? He got held up by somebody. Was it Garcia or was it Tony Green? It was one of the KBM trucks, if I remember. Was this maybe some payback between Stapleton and Garcia almost one season later? I don't know. That's going to be interesting to go back and look in the archives to find out. But for now, we're going to go back and see if Colin Lindsay can be the first 2-time winner here in the Coors Light Truck Series in Season 3. One-lap shootout will do it here at Auto Club Speedway. Colin Lindsay was able to get around Julio Cesar on that last run. Going to try and become the first 2-time winner this season after winning his first career race at Hillside back at the last race of the regular season. I went back in the archive, and indeed, race 24 last season, Homestead Miami Speedway, which was heading into the season finale here at Auto Club. With the championship on the line, Nathan Stapleton got held up on the high side, lost a ton of positions because of a slower lap machine. That slower lap machine was indeed the 51 of Ace Garcia. You gotta wonder if that whole incident that caused Stapleton not to make it to the Final Four to compete for the championship last year, if that's been festering and finally came to a head here today, that could be some payback for an incident that happened over a year ago, as I guess Garcia and Stapleton have not forgotten what took place there. And remember, Ace Garcia did move on to the final round of the playoffs, competing for the championship that year, and he caused Stapleton not to. So wow, who would have thought that a rivalry keeps going 1 year later? But here we go. Lindsay, then Cesar, then Drake, Fraser, and Handley all out here. Non-playoff drivers, green flags in the air, and Lindsay is gone. Almost exactly the same kind of restart that Julio Cesar had on Lindsay the last time around. Colin Lindsay, the lowest in the point standings with a win, could very well be the first driver to have 2 wins. But look at the 19, getting a nice run down the back straightaway. Can he clear Handley down here into 3 and go low on the 21? He's looking. Lindsay's going to go way down low as well to block the advances. Fraser's now going to get around on the outside of the 19, and Colin Lindsay's going to hang on. Second win of his career, second win of the season. Colin Lindsay wins at Auto Club. Third win of the season for Monster Motorsports. 1 with Sebastian Cucalon, now 2 with Colin Lindsay. And Lindsay becomes the first driver to visit victory lane twice here in Season 3. You got to think what would have happened if Lindsay had managed to make it into the playoffs, had that win at Hillside, has a win here a few weeks later at Auto Club. Could very well have been one of the favorites for the championship. But definitely a silver lining in the gray cloud of not making it into the playoffs. Lindsay came into this race 34th in the point standings, despite being mired down in the points. Going to get his second win of the season. What a great run there for the 21. I think we got to go back. Just before that caution came out, that move to the inside in turns 1 and 2 and clearing Julio Cesar might have very well been the move of the race-winning move. Standings should be official, and indeed they are. Rookies sweep the top 4 positions. Bobby Fraser did get Julio Cesar, using the outside line through 3 and 4 to get second place. Cesar will get third. TJ Handley brings it home in 4th, and great run there for Tyler Deaver. We haven't talked much about former playoff driver from the past 2 seasons. He's going to finish in the 5th position. H Alonso came in the points leader, finishes the highest of the playoff drivers. He is a shoo-in to the next round of the playoffs. Question is, who are the other 5 drivers that will join him? C Tsang brings it home with a solid run of 7th. Only one of the WF9 Motorsports cars that finished up near the front. 8th place was Josh Drake. Andrew Rich started on pole, finished 9th. And Fury Gamington kept himself up in the top 10 the closing stages and finishes in the 10th position. So we know Julio Cesar, that H Alonso is into the next round of the playoffs. Who joins him? Henry Williams, 14th. I think that'll be good enough to make it in. Sebastian Cucalon, 19th. That'll be good enough for him to get in. Isaac Nicholls finished in 24th. He managed to finish ahead of both Michael Haas and J.J. Roberts, so I believe Nicholls is just barely going to be able to get in. He dropped down here to the bottom of the finishing results, though, and that's where you start to get into the question marks. You got Andrew Miller. He finished in 35th, but he managed to stay ahead of both J.J. Roberts and Michael Haas, who he came into this race ahead of in the point standing. So I think Miller's still going to be able to make it in. That leaves the final spot open between Tanker, Michael Haas, and J.J. Roberts. Tanker, where did he finish? He finished in 34th, and he also came into this race ahead of Haas and Roberts. I believe the first 2 drivers that are going to be eliminated from the playoffs, Michael Haas finishing in 39th, J.J. Roberts finishing in 41st. So that leaves Alonso, Williams, Tanker, Miller, Cucalon, and Nicholls that will move on to the round of 6 at Le Mans and at Rockingham, North Carolina. So tough break there Not the runs that either Michael Haas nor Roberts were looking for, but, well, they still got, 3 more races to finish out the season. They can try and join Colin Lindsay as a 2-time winner, maybe get a 3rd win before the season's over, but the road for the championship comes to an end for those 2 drivers. A tough break for them, but 6 drivers remain as they'll head into their next race, with this first race of the second round taking place at their endurance race at Le Mans. That's going to be crazy. You're not going to want to miss that. But congratulations to Colin Lindsay on becoming the first 2-time winner here this season. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race from Auto Club. If you did, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We have shown your full page results. These are your rookie point stands, your overall point stands, and your updated playoff points as 6 drivers move on in their attempt to get the championship here in Season 3 of the Coors Light Truck Series. You won't want to miss the rest of the action this weekend either. We're going to be whittling the field down from 12 to 8 for the Pizza Hut Series drivers here tomorrow. And we are going to begin the first race of the second round for the Hershey's Cup Series drivers, remaining 12 competing for that championship. That all taking place here from Auto Club. Hope you'll tune in. We'll see you guys next week as well at Talladega Superspeedway for Last of Us Light Series, Pizza Hut Series, and Hershey's Cup Series action. Till then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching Production NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.